This is Shane Carlson here with you this week for Full Throttle Weekly, and it's been a few weeks since I made a video, so I apologize for that. But this week is going to be awesome. Fan favorite track in Talladega is where NASCAR is headed this season or this weekend for the Nationwide and the Cup Series. Sure to be a good one, but last weekend in Richmond, the Nationwide and the Cup Series were both in action. Friday night, Kevin Harvick took his first win of the Nationwide season. He bested his teammate Chase Elliott, who finished second, and Elliott had come into that race, who had won the last two races actually as a rookie. He won at Texas and then Darlington. So he's on fire right now. Elliott is the points leader by 19 points over Trevor Bayne, I believe. But this weekend, Nationwide Series is going to be in Talladega. Biggest thing to watch here, or biggest feature of the Nationwide Series race, I guess, is that there's going to be no bump drafting. And we saw this in Daytona in February, where NASCAR is not going to allow the Nationwide guys to use the bump draft effectively. If they do, NASCAR is going to penalize them. And we saw one driver get penalized in Daytona. That was James Buescher. But it's pretty much NASCAR's call to make that decision. They didn't really say they didn't really say what standards had to be met in order to receive a penalty. It's kind of a balls and strike call, I guess you can say, for NASCAR to make. So hopefully we don't see a lot of penalties being handed down this weekend for the Nationwide Series. But it's possible. They just want to keep the drivers in control, and there's a lot of rookies in this race, so that's another reason for it. Just to keep things a little bit tamer than in the Sprint Cup Series. And last weekend in the Sprint Cup Series, Saturday night, the Cup guys were in Richmond, and Joey Logano scored his second win of the year. So the second win pretty much locks him into the chase. He becomes the second driver this year, besides Kevin Harvick, who did it a week ago, or the week before Easter. He became the first driver to get his second win of the year. So Joey Logano joins him in that category. Those two guys pretty much locked in the chase. But Jeff Gordon had another strong run, solid. I believe he led 173 laps, if I'm not mistaken. He came home second. I think he's gonna get a win. Jeff Gordon is. I think he's had a really good car for the past few weeks in the long run. So if those guys in the Sprint Cup Series can ever just settle it down near the end of the race and not bring out a late caution, I think Jeff Gordon could have won a few races by now. But that's not the way it is. I'm sure Jeff and the 24 team will get things figured out and improve by one position to get a win at some point here and make the chase. But I've got pretty high hopes for those guys. They're running really well right now. Jeff's leading the points by 5 points over Matt Kenseth, and Matt Kenseth is still without a win after winning 7 times last season. He was the winningest driver last season. So still waiting for those guys to get a couple wins. Along with those big guns, you got Casey Kane, who's winless still. Denny Hamlin's winless still. Jimmy Johnson's still winless. This is week 10 of the NASCAR season, so I believe all those guys are going to get a win. I don't think you can hold those 5 guys down for that long. But it'll be interesting. Heading to Talladega this weekend, Sunday afternoon. Things I'm going to be watching are... this goes for both the Nationwide and the Sprint Cup Series. This feature right here is the veterans versus the rookies in this race, because this is a restrictor plate race. It's 2.66 miles long. It's going to be, speeds are high here as we ever see them anywhere on the circuit, and so they have to run the restrictor plates here. But the level of experience at a place like this plays a huge role into, I think, winning and getting yourself to the front, because you have to have, to get to the front, you got to work with other drivers. And if a veteran isn't willing to work with a rookie just because he doesn't have experience, that's going to be a problem for a rookie to win this race. That's just a fact, because the rookie's just not going to have help from the draft to get to the front. So I'm going to be watching that sort of play out in both of the races on Saturday and Sunday. Just the veterans and the rookies, and Chase Elliott has made a name for himself, but he struggled at Daytona to start the year. He scored 2 wins in the Nationwide Series on mile-and-a-half intermediate tracks, and so now we go back to the restrictor plate races. How are the veterans gonna race against Chase Elliott? Are they gonna continue to kind of avoid working with Chase just because he's a rookie, or has his 2 wins shown that he has the experience? Maybe not to the level of the veterans yet, but Elliott has shown that he can win and contend for wins against these guys. So that will be interesting to watch. Same goes for the Cup Series. We've got 8 rookies. I don't know if Kligerman's going to be racing this weekend. His team kind of folded up there, but we'll have at least 7 contending for a win out of 43 drivers. So it's very possible one of them can win. They just got to have the help to get there at the end to be in position to win. So that's what I'll be watching. And for the Cup Series, the other thing I'll be watching is, will we see another upset winner? Last year in this race, David Reagan won, and he races for a 2-car team, and scored their first ever win for Front Row Motorsports. And so it was kind of a David versus Goliath moment for NASCAR. A big upset win for David Reagan. And will we see that again this weekend? I think it's entirely possible we see that again this weekend, because now with the new chase format, a win will pretty much put you into the chase. It'll pretty much lock you into the playoffs, is pretty much what a win will do for you right now. So I think a lot of teams, especially those underfunded teams who don't have a shot to win every weekend at the mile-and-a-half, the intermediate tracks, the 2-mile tracks, they go to places like Daytona and Talladega. They know they have a shot to win, so I think they'll be taking a lot of chances this weekend. Maybe with setups, working with some different drivers they haven't worked with before. Kind of allying themselves to put themselves all in a better position to be there at the end, to be able to have a chance to make a move to win the race. So that is why fans love Talladega and Daytona, especially. Just because anybody can win here, and out of 43 drivers, everybody's got a shot, and that's why fans love this joint. And that 4 wide through the middle of the corner doesn't deter fans either. So another reason to watch for that. There's going to be a wreck in both of them. There's going to be a big wreck in both of them. So drivers who can avoid that will generally have a shot to win the race. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking for this weekend in Talladega. I'm really excited. As for who I think is going to win, Nationwide Series, I'm going to go with Trevor Bayne. The last 2 plate tracks, Daytona in February and dating back to the fall race at Talladega, he finished 10th and then 3rd. So he has a 10th and a 3rd in his last 2 plate tracks, and he was in a position to win at Daytona. So I think Trevor Bayne will knock down or collect the checkered flag this weekend and get his first win of the Nationwide season and put himself a little bit closer to contending for the championship title against Chase Elliott. And in the Sprint Cup Series, I'm going to go with Jamie McMurray. The dude has this place figured out. He's a 2-time winner here, won here in the fall. Jamie and his teammate Kyle Larson have been really working well together. The Hendrick Power under the hood for the 2nd year, and I think also a new crew chief in Keith Rodden has helped that number 1 team's performance on the track. So I think Jamie McMurray gets the win this weekend in the Cup Series, but as I kind of mentioned before, it's anybody can win, so it'll be interesting to watch. Super fun, that's for sure. And if you guys have never seen a NASCAR race, I would really encourage you to watch this one. This is why this is the heart of NASCAR right here, is Talladega and these types of races and racing. So that's all I have for you guys this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Follow my stuff on my blog there on the website. Check it out. See what you agree with, what you don't agree with. I got some new power rankings up this week. So check them out and let me know what y'all think. Thanks.